Hello everyone and welcome back. It's Figure Friday once again, and we have been sitting on Motormaster, this version, for quite a while now. I've just been, bouncing around working on different figures, and here we are today. We're finally going to get into it. We're just going to move the camera up a little bit. Hopefully just keep it on the pool table so you don't see all the messes and all that stuff behind our little area here. Now, we've already seen Motormaster once, and I actually brought out that figure. So here is a more readily available Motormaster. I believe that this is out right now, and I think that they had done a reskin of this for Optimus Prime as well. So looking through in the boxes and stuff like that, so I found one Optimus Prime, and then I'm looking around because I know that there's vehicles that go along with Motormaster to bring the Stunticons all together, and I came across more of the Optimus Prime that I really prefer over a lot of the others. So we do have a couple different variations here of Prime as well as Motormaster himself, and we will see how this one stacks up. Of course, the beautiful thing about the Motormaster in the box here is the fact that we can get him to become the combiner version, which I'm struggling to remember exactly what the name of that one was offhand. So as we look at the back here, I want to say it was Menasor, but I could be wrong. We do get to see Motormaster with the extra parts here, and then all you have to do is clip the other vehicles on here. So it works out pretty good. And the vehicles are meant to go on there. I know I have at least 2, if not 3, to make this all work out. I don't know exactly how that's all supposed to kind of work. I don't know where they are offhand. So they're being elusive to me here this morning. But let's see how Motormaster himself compares to Optimus Prime, as well as one of the latest iterations of Motormaster. It's a wonderful take to be able to say all this, mainly because Motormaster really had, in the original series, a huge gripe against Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime was considered more the king of the road by a lot of other Autobots and Decepticons, and Motormaster really wanted to prove that he was truly the king of the road. Cybertronians is what I was trying to get to, but my mind is failing when I do some of this stuff, so as always, it's always interesting when your mind just suddenly blanks out. You know what you want to say, but your mind's just not there. Alright. So, looking at the trailer is very beefy. There's quite a bit of weight here. We do have our fifth wheel catch. This really looks like it could very well be having this in the front, kind of disguised as more of a oh my goodness, for all the years of having been in shipping, a trailer with the air conditioning and all that in the front here. And what I'm looking for is to see if they actually have the front landing gear, but I do not see the front landing gear here, at least not at the moment. It might be something that's here that I just don't see. Obviously, I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark and say I'm most likely going to need the instructions to get this all transformed. Motormaster here looks very iconic to what we originally saw in the cartoons way back in the 80s, and it looks wonderful. I do remember at some point having the original Motormaster, but I didn't have all the other vehicles, and you couldn't transform him anymore without the other vehicles, and he looked like this, but he was very small. Actually, the feet, or the cab, your semi itself, really became the feet. So it would stick up on here, this would separate, the arms would come out, and then the head would be on top of there. So that really makes a huge difference as far as how everything goes. It was a whole different design for the time. And let's be honest here, the things that we can do with the plastics and the hinges and that today, that were still kind of in the infancy way back then, it's really kind of fascinating as to what we can actually do. So I'm going to have to pull out the old instruction booklet, because this is the first time I've ever done something like this. So please, let's fumble through it as together as we go through here. First and foremost, let's get Motormaster himself. I think that's going to be the interesting part, just trying to get him transformed. And then the trailer, seeing that it can go two different directions. Let's see where we go from there once we get Motormaster kind of set up here. I'm hoping he's more or less a very straightforward design, which I'm sure he probably is. It's just trying to figure this all out and trying to figure out where step one is for us, because there are so many different things we can do. And I'm just trying to figure out where we are. Alright, so it looks like what we're doing is we're at the very top here. I don't know how much you guys can see of this. So let's get Motormaster out. And of course it looks like they're saying let's get this all kind of done up. It says it's supposed to flip up. Alright, and then we kind of start separating. Push this forward. This is where I start getting things kind of confused here. Trying to understand where the hinges are so I don't break things. I believe this is still available for sale on Amazon, which is where I had picked it up. And I want to say I think he's going for roughly about like $80 or so. I do want to point that out, because if there's other people that are looking at this and saying, hey, this is really neat, and you want to pick them up yet, by all means. I mean, this is very iconic to me because of the rivalry. This is what we had gotten out of the second season of Transformers, I believe. Okay, so this comes out, rolls around, and then we have like a miniature version of the truck. Alright, and then this has got a fold underneath here. Okay. And again, our wheel folds under. So this looks very iconic to make it seem how the original one had kind of gone. So this is all gonna fold down here. In some parts, if I can see what the end design is, sometimes I can figure this out a little bit more. Okay. Because sometimes I get lost on the instructions trying to figure out exactly where I'm supposed to go. Okay, and this should. Oh, it does. All right. Okay. It folds around, goes over like this. Oh, you go down here. Having the ratchets here on the legs really makes a lot of sense, especially once we start looking at making him the leader here. Alright, that's going to go back. So stay forward. It might stay forward. So I'm afraid, no, that doesn't want to go back because we do have this piece here. And that might be a connecting hinge for our pieces later for the legs. I'm just trying to, oh, that does go down, okay. Alright, there we go. And it has a little spot in here. So it kind of joins that. Okay. Alright, I think we're kind of getting it. That snaps in right here. And of course this side should do the same. There we go. So it covers his kneecaps. Now we get his arms in that here, which we're getting this all done. This says to lift this all up. I thought. Is there something there I'm supposed to lift up? Looks like his hands come out. Or his arms come up. That lifts up, that lifts up. Okay, I'm kind of lost here at the moment. You know, it's wonderful unboxing these things, but I do, you know, I want to do these as fairly quick and easy videos to showcase some of these and how cool some of these are for those that want to collect them. Or, you know, when I was a kid, and I guess I say this a couple times over, you know, my parents weren't buying this stuff. A lot of the stuff I collect today, you know, we didn't have the money to collect this stuff. And me personally, I'm trying to find this stuff as cheap as I can. I find it on clearance or whatever. I will say that here lately, being in central Wisconsin, northeast Wisconsin, whatever you want to call us, we have just gotten 2 ollies not that long ago. So that's going to really help because I know I've picked up a couple figures from ollies. Another wonderful place I've seen online that people have been able to get figures and all that very inexpensive. You know, when you can get a $25 figure for, say, $4, I mean, that's just wonderful. So I'm not going to knock any of that. I'm just trying to figure out, you know, so that kind of helps people like me and so many others that, you know, we want to try and recapture our childhood, at least a little glimpse of it, you know, for the fun and the excitement and some of the innocence of what life was back then. And I am having one dickens of a time here. This thing just does not want to separate. I don't know if I'm just grabbing it in the wrong spot. But for what I see, this, which does have a hinge here, is supposed to drop down. But the arms are clipped in here somewhere, somehow. And I'm having a dickens of a time here. Oh, come on. Once I figure this out, it's going to be really simple and easy. And we're going to be laughing. But in the meantime, it's just a what the heck kind of deal here. All right. Because, yeah, it shows in 15 that these should just kind of come up. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. There. Aha. I got one. Kind of at the joint a little bit here. There we go. Now we got them up. And this can go down. Okay. This, having another hinge, goes like that. We spin that around. The arms come down. Got the nice Decepticon logo right there. clicks in. And I think what we're going to end up doing, yeah, we're going to, no, oh, and I'm confused here. This looks like that's how it's supposed to be in the front, but I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, okay. Then it comes around. Here, flip the head around. Okay. Then, there we are. Okay. Now it starts making a little bit more sense here. Okay. And then that should be him. We already got the hands out, which is how we kind of finish this off. And put his hands down or whatever. Have him all ready to fight. And, you know, this is kind of how they had done it, where it was kind of gone around, but that was kind of needed for putting the head on top. Now, we don't really need that today, but it's still kind of a holdover in the original design. But we do see a nice face piece on the inside. Actually, I like this face a lot better than what we have on the newer one, which to me, he looks more like a biker gang leader. It's my take on him. You know, and it's fun having different takes and different, you know, designs and all that stuff. You know, in different universes where maybe he doesn't combine with others and he's just, you know, a lone wolf or whatever, or maybe they are kind of like a biker gang, kind of like the Dreadnoughts from G.I. Joe. Okay, so now we have him. So let's see how he in size compares to... Now this is an older Optimus Prime, and they are roughly about the same size. So for me, this is probably the Optimus Prime I would put him up against. And of course, now this is from one of the newer takes on the Transformers and that. Let's see here. And of course, he is standing quite a bit taller. So Optimus Prime's got a little bit to kind of go there. So we have maybe Prime Major and Prime Minor. I don't know. But alright. And of course, if we stack them up against the latest version, which is a little bit more robust look at him. Again, he's got that classic piece going around. And like I said, that was needed way back when because actually I think the head went on and it went on forward, so it actually clipped underneath here, and this all stabilized it. So it's just kind of the fun things of how everything's gone throughout the years. But very nice looking, wonderful in that regard. So with this, of course, everyone's going to want to see him with his trailer, because I mean, when we get these bigger Cybertronians and then they have trailers, it's wonderful being able to see what we actually get from them and what they're able to do. So let's see what we can do here. See, it looks like this is supposed to separate at some point. Looks like this can come off and separates. And there we are. And then there we have his sword. Now this is actually meant for, I think, more when he combines with the others. But let's see what we get. Alright, so there's that. So this separates. And then the top and the bottom separate. And then there's the hands for when he combines. So it's kind of nice. Everything's all together. Originally, when we had this, these were all pieces that had to be kept separately. You had to have the head separate, the feet were plates that went on, and the hands were extra pieces that had gone on. So it's really kind of neat and interesting how they've done this throughout the years to keep everything really more or less together. And then the saber here was sitting in here. Now it looks like we start off with this. So this separates, and then on the inside we have a cannon. So this looks like that's the legs. So if we wanted to create the legs here, I'm sure that that's going to be part of it. Actually, that's what it looks like we're starting to work on here a little bit. But let's just kind of go what we have here. So our cannon flips around like so. Now he's got a double cannon there. See, now this separates. Our wheels will probably fold on underneath here for something. We're going to go all the way through this. This is going to be a longer video, so for everyone that was hoping for a nice short video, I do apologize. If you want to break this up and just hit certain parts, I fully understand. It's trying to see what we all have here. All right. Sword comes out. Okay, there's that. I'm confused. This folds up. What I'm trying to see is how this all works, because I see a hinge here, and it says that this is supposed to go up, so I'm kind of confused here as to what's what. Or, no. Okay, there's that. Then this folds. Okay. Wow. And that separates. And then it folds up again. You want it flat. So that goes there. Okay. Because this becomes kind of a, from the looks of it, oh, that's probably going to be our base for our cannon. So I'm going to guess, looking at this, our cannon is probably going to go on top of here. So I'm jumping the gun on this a little bit. All right, we'll set that all off here. All right, and then, let's see, we have this, our legs. So this is going to be, ooh, that's a lot of clicks. All right, so that's our lower, our abdomen and all that for when he combines to become, yeah, wow, that's really going to be interesting when we get there. All right, nope, and I'm right, we're going to need that here. I don't know which direction I'm going here, so I'm hoping what I'm doing is, it looks like I'm, yes, this is all for making this the tower for his defense here. So I am on the right path. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing. We have our trailer pieces. All right, so we get told to do this. Okay. Now we take our trailer pieces, and these fold down. And then they combine. So, in my confusion here, I'm trying to figure this out, because this says it goes on top of this somehow. And I'm just a little confused because how does this combine here? Nope, Alright, that's how it's supposed to go. So that would go here. Alright, so, oh, I think I see where I'm supposed to go. No, maybe? Maybe-ish. Yep, okay. So we have that hole there, which uses that mounting peg. Alright, now it's starting to make a little bit of sense here. Then we got to get our legs and our feet come out. Alright. So that seems very nicely and useful. So this comes out, and that's going to then as we flip this over, which doesn't seem like it's the most robust, but it's what they're asking us to do. Our feet have a mounting spot on the ends. I mean, it's nice and interesting the fact that we have a secondary use out of this, so it becomes a defensive platform. Doesn't seem like it's... I had a piece on the back here that kind of just sat down, so now it's a little bit more stable, a little bit better there. Then this actually sits in the front and combines where? Combines up here. Oh, come on. So, well, let me just say it's got some combining spots there, and that's where it would actually sit. Now, it's not actually fitted in there, mainly because I'm behind the camera, and this is something I'd like to do up close a little bit more. Oh, come on. There's one. Oh, now it's on there. Okay. And there we are. Although it seems like it's off center a little bit, or I've done something else here. Okay, so that's our defensive platform. Now we can sit up here, man the cannon, and kind of shoot away. And then, looking at everything, I actually get a little bit of a sense as to how this is supposed to work. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I moved that. That's what it was. It's just that joint there. Okay, so let's get this undone. And in some regards, this may work fairly quick, because looking at this, that's a knee joint right here, and the same thing here. So those become fairly nice and easy, and it feels very robust. Now the only issue I'm going to have so far here okay, so we close that up, is some of the things that I've seen is the cars actually combine on this side, which in a lot of regards is not right. And I've always kind of wondered in the pictures why they've done that. So not really having an answer here. I don't know what to tell you, but again, these joints here, because this sits down, it's really kind of leaning them forward a little bit. I'm sure with the extra weight, once we get everything on here, it'll probably straighten out. But at least just initially, here we are. All right, and then this is our arm. Our hands are out. It was always wonderful when you could actually look at this and say, I don't need the instructions, because I can figure this out without it. But here we are. Okay. And that goes on the side like this. Alright, so that gives us all the flexibility in that to try and put them together. If that's going to be up like this, our thumb's on the inside. So then that means that that has to be on this somewhere, somehow. Alright. So that's probably all going to go into him. He's got to be the key cog here. Alright, so that's going to have to go forward again. Dun, da, da, da. The arms come up and forward. Try and do this so I can keep it all on camera for you, because it's what the intent is. I don't think we're going to need our hands. If I'm wrong, I can always pull them out now that we got that all going here. Good. Okay. Then the arms drop down. Okay. And no. Oh my. His head comes up there. So what am I doing wrong? Because his head's going to have to go up there somehow. Well, that's nicely done how they did that. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I... Oh. Now I goofed it. Oh. See, and that's what I always try to avoid to do, and it seems like I do it enough. Oh, goodness gracious me. Alright. No, I just can't get him back in there the way he was. I did something or other here. Okay, now I got him back in there. But it's like it was just kind of caught there and just did not want to go back in there. Okay. Alright, so that's there. It says to move these up and over again. Like that. So it fits. Oh, they just come up and then they go down. Okay, that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay. Alright, now it goes up, down. And then, let's see, this comes out, has an extra hinge. There. Because this right here for the hand has got to fit on there. That's what I was getting confused with. Okay. Oh, come on. All right. Okay, and then there we are. Which then opens up mounting that this is going to go into. I'm sure of it, because that's probably going to go on the side somewhere or whatever. Okay, so then we're going to be able to bring the head up. Now that I stuck it back down there. Da-da-da. Yes. And now the head comes up. So now that I got the head wedged back down here. Oh, goodness. Okay. There we are. Oops. And that mounts pretty good. Okay, so now what do we do with the feet? We have to get the feet all done up. So the feet come, we open this up. Then they want us to flip the legs around. Dun dun. Okay, so this is where I'm a little on the confused side here. So I gotta get the legs all kind of in here. Again. Alright, well, apparently I've gotten myself all kind of confused here because I don't know where I'm going here. Alright. Oh my goodness. Alright. So that's the legs here. I will say for the old one, I mean, this was a very simple thing because they just kind of went on to the arms and we didn't have any extra trying to figure all this stuff out. But I will say this looks a whole heck of a lot cooler because, I mean, when we get Optimus Prime in the size difference, I mean, there's a huge size difference in them today compared to what we had way back then. So just trying to get this, once I get the legs figured out, I think the rest of this will go fairly quick and easy. I'm just confused on the legs, how we're doing the legs here. I have to get the instructions kind of done a little closer to me so I can see this a little bit better because I'm all messed up here. So we do want the legs sitting this way. But then it looks like we want the legs. Alright. Then they have them separated. Then we want to turn them this way from each other. And then it says out. Something ain't working quite right here. Because we had the legs here. And I'm moving this one around. I don't I don't think I'm supposed to be moving that around. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I think I got it now. I think. Alright, so our legs are out, and we have this hinge here. So what we're supposed to be doing is getting that hinge on the inside so it collapses that leg a little bit. And then I think we close that back up. I think that's what we're supposed to be working on. And we'll get this all figured out together. We're in this as a group, so for better or worse, we're in this as a group. We'll get this figured out. All right, and then we close it up. Okay. There. And then yeah, that's the closing it up part. They're still facing like this. And then they do. They fold up here, so it takes up less room. And it's supposed to snap in. Alright, so this piece right here, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but there's a little kind of rectangular peg, and it does have a spot that it's supposed to snap in there. And then that's where we go. There. Now to say it in this regard, because this isn't the most beautiful, glamorous look for a transformer, looks like he's playing origami with himself. All this gets hidden behind the new breastplate there. Come on. Oh, you little shyster, you. There. Okay. Now we got that. Came undone. That sits in there, so oops, that might be causing some issues. That might have caused a little bit of an issue because I'm putting a little extra force on this joint here. I think that kind of gets covered up. Okay, and yes, those are supposed to kind of slide together back down here, and then these have their own spot to kind of click into. So if I can get everything else all clicked together, these should click in right there and right there. Okay, so that's that. So now we've got them all folded up like a pretzel. And then this folds down into there and into there. Okay. And then this is, I think, where this goes. And we're going to find this out here in a minute. Now it tells us about our feet, which we already have on here. Okay, and then we put him in here. So that snaps there. Covers that all up. And then there we are. He is a big boy. And yes, it actually really does give that look, because, you know, when we were watching the old cartoons, they would, in so many ways, be able to. Okay, it looks like there's more transforming here to be done. Okay, that goes. this. This holds part of the car on, and that holds the other part. So this, I think that's what we're looking at here. Okay. Yeah, because that comes down. Okay. There we are. Alright, so now it starts making some sense. So that's our shoulder. We can rotate a little bit with the shoulder. In some regards, it would make more sense as that. I have the tires out here. I don't know how we get the tires in. Doesn't look like they do. It shows I do this, and then it shows I do that on the other side here. So, oops. This has to fold up, so we didn't fold those up yet. Oh, really? The other side didn't do that. So what did I do wrong on this side? Oh, I didn't have that out all the way. That's where it is. And then that flips down. Okay. Alright. Makes a little bit more sense. Alright. And then that comes out and snaps all in place. Alright. And then this comes down. That's I still have one more joint to do. Oh my goodness. Alright. They really had that folded up really nice. Okay. Now this goes on like that. Oh, for one side or the other. Goes there. And goes there. And there's a little snap. Okay. And there we are. We just don't have the other cars on there. But that's him all together, just without the other cars. Alright. And you can still have that, or we can put that, we could give him the cannon if we wanted to. So if you want to just give him the one or the cannon there, just kind of fold that back a little bit, and there we are. That is pretty respectable. That is very cool. I think I have the legs on the wrong side. Oh no! Did I do that? Alright. So, first of all, oh, and the legs go all the way in. Okay, so I had the legs on the wrong side, so let's just acknowledge my silliness here and not paying quite the right amount of attention here. Now the legs sit on the right side, because the ankle joints, just like all the others, they do have that. So when we have him sit out here with his legs apart a little bit so he can get a nice firm standing here. And then there's a locking piece on the back that I didn't have up there. Now he's locked in. Okay. And then we also want to give him his sword. And we gotta adjust the camera so you guys can see him in his glory here. Especially in comparison to Optimus. I mean, he sits quite a bit taller than Optimus. Now, there is another Transformer, and you guys haven't seen this one yet. Not for me. I'm sure you've seen it in many others, but I wanted to see exactly how much of a size difference there is. And he is all dusty, and I will admit that. But when you look at Skyfire, and you see him in comparison, they are almost the same size. He was always meant to be a very large Autobot, and actually in the first time that we got to see him, he was in California in a great giant redwood forest and all that, and he was having a hard time trying to duck behind the trees. So it makes sense that he would be that size, you know. But it's interesting to sit here and say now we have the Stunticons all together, and then here we have Skyfire, Jetfire. I think it's Jetfire. Skyfire, I believe, was a smaller one. Same design, smaller. Jetfire was the larger one, more of the scientist that was out and about in space. And then there's little Optimus Prime there. So having them all together, yes, you can see them. Okay, just looking behind me to make sure I know you guys can see them. It's just wonderful having them. And I think I'll probably just leave them this way, especially seeing that I've got the biker version. And if I find the other ones, I'm going to put them on there because that's really what I want them for. It's just awesome in so many ways, and just kind of go from there. He is a little bit taller, not by much, but a little bit taller. Jetfire's weapons do stand out just a little bit. His backpack's there, but very iconic. It doesn't get more awesome than this, just looking at everything. Just wonderful. With that, that's what we have here today. Thank you for spending the time as I'm fumbling through this. It's wonderful having you guys here. You guys make the channel. I get to have fun putting this stuff together, working on the role-playing aspects and everything else, Figure Fridays, and the silliness that we get into, which is just a hodgepodge of things on weekends, getting Legos. As you can see, we have plenty of Legos around me. I don't have room for them. I had some shelves that I put up, and I'm already out of room because I was shuffling things around. But we'll get more Legos. We'll keep Legos going. We have a lot of mocks to do, so if you're enjoying those, we'll get another one or two done this weekend, and we'll just keep on going. But with that, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this brings a smile just for the silliness of it is, and trying to recapture our childhood in so many ways, and just the great puzzles that Transformers always had been, trying to use our imagination to understand the mechanics of how this all works out, and it's always wonderful. And with that, I will see you in the next video.